Hi, and welcome to Jen and Dan's Natural Healing with Plants, the podcast that brings together modern science, ancient wisdom, and practical advice to help you live your healthiest, most vibrant life. I'm Jen. I'm a health educator, plant-based culinary coach, and master herbalist. And today I'm recording solo. It is the week of Thanksgiving, so we are both on holiday, and so we will be recording separately. So I want to talk today about something that is personal to me, and that is the power of community and belonging in the journey to health. And when we face health challenges, especially something as isolating as a chronic illness, an autoimmune disease, cancer, something like that, it can feel like the world just stops. You can feel so alone. The sense of fear and loneliness can be overwhelming. But I want to share how finding a community is so critical to not just surviving, but thriving during a time like this. So, I also want to share a little bit about how plants and herbs can bring us together in beautiful ways and introduce my new membership group, the Zen and Zest Zone, which is designed to support you on your health and healing journey through herbs, plants, and meaningful connections. So, facing a diagnosis is just life changing, right? Depending on what it is. For me, it was autoimmune thyroid. I didn't even know anything was wrong with me. You can find my story in a earlier episode. I think I've even shared it twice. So when you first receive this scary diagnosis, it's like, why me? How did this happen to me? And where can I find out more about this? Now, for me, I was diagnosed with something I had never even heard of. And so that was really, really scary. So maybe you've been dealing with unexplained symptoms for months. I didn't even know anything was wrong with me. It was a complete surprise from my blood work. But my business partner, Jennifer Swank, she had been suffering for years, and doctors just kept telling her it was a part of aging. So when you finally get an answer, it can bring some relief, but then fear. It's like, okay, so now I know why this is going on, but what does that mean next for me? And so my business partner and I, we both received these life-changing diagnoses. Then we felt alone and isolated and helpless. It's like, where do you go? I know for me, the first thing the doctor said was you have to have surgery or radiation. And I just remember deer in the headlights. What are you talking about? And I just said, no. Number one, I had no idea what he was talking about. Now, I'm not telling anyone to tell their doctor no. I'm just saying this is what happened to me. And so the hardest part wasn't just that I had this thing that I had never, like, at the time when he said autoimmune, all I could think of was AIDS and HIV. That's all I'd ever heard of at the time when it comes to autoimmune. And they didn't live very long lives back then either. And so not only did I feel alone, it was something that was just really, really scary. So I felt like the traditional medical system wasn't giving me the answers that I wanted. It wasn't supporting me. My doctor wasn't supporting me. The doctors just told me it was like, just you got the short end of the straw. It was just bad luck. No one knows what causes this. And what you eat has nothing to do with it, which I know now that is completely untrue. But I also know that food isn't everything. We have to have the food right, but then there's a lot of other things that we have to have right too. But you can read my blog at holisticgen.com. Perfectionism can be at the root of your illness as well. And so we don't have to worry about doing everything perfectly. It's just finding what's going to be right for us and keeping everything in balance. So when I started turning to natural healing methods, I started exploring more and more about herbs. I had been studying herbs, but not that deep at the time. I had been considering completely whole food plant-based, but at the time, I took nutrition classes back in the 90s, and I've been ever since then, so over 25 years. But at the time, I heard that being vegan was unhealthy and could be dangerous, that you had to do all this food combining and things like that. And now I know that's not true. You can listen to that on another episode as well. So I knew that I only needed a tiny bit of meat at the time. Now I know I don't need any. And so I've been trying to be more and more plant-based. I've been diving into the herbal remedies and other things, but it also helped me to find other people who were on the same path that I was on, who were also struggling and going through something similar because they're living it just like me. An illness like I was diagnosed with, my business partner was diagnosed with. These are called invisible illnesses. People look at you and they're like, "What do you mean you can't get out of bed today? And why are you so lazy? What do you mean you can't walk, whatever, today?" Because you look healthy and strong on the outside. People don't realize what all is going on the inside. And so it can be very, very isolating. When you look like this and feel awful on the inside, then you start feeling guilty as well. People are dismissing you and you feel like you're missing out on what's going on. And so you're very misunderstood. You feel like maybe you're a fraud. Maybe I should be able to do all of those things because we don't know anyone else who's gone through this. And so it takes a toll on our mental health as well. And so I think it's so important to find a community, finding people who have been on the same path you're on, connecting with other people with a similar story, but not to bring you down, to help to lift you up. So make sure you're choosing that community and those friends in the right way. Because I don't know if you've been in a room with someone where somebody complains and all of a sudden everybody else starts complaining and it just gets really heated about this complaint and the energy comes down. We want to be with people who are lifting us up, who are light and joyful and supportive and can share with you. Hey, this is working for me. Oh, I'm feeling good today. I felt really great after I did X, Y, and Z. And you can see that lifts the energy up. And it's just helpful to see someone else who understands what you're going through and has a positive mindset as well. So, Jennifer and I created this membership group called the Zen and Zest Zone because we focus on mindfulness, mental health, as well as zest, the zest for life, healthy foods, using herbs and things for herbal products, for our insides and our outsides. And we want to provide a space for people like us who are struggling with things like food sensitivities, low energy, and frustration with the medical system. So we want to connect with you. In our membership, we have 4 live classes at least every month. We also have an online portal where we communicate with people on a regular basis. People in the community can communicate without us even. They can connect and become friends as well. So we built this because we realized how similar our stories were. For me, I didn't have any symptoms, but I felt scared and alone and was looking for ways outside of the conventional system. For her, she was sick and frustrated and trying to find out what was going on and was wrong. But then she got that diagnosis that also left her feeling scared and lonely and looking for ways other than the way the traditional system was failing her, because they kept telling her that it was aging, and then she got this diagnosis and then they still didn't have good answers. So we felt very betrayed, not only by our bodies but also by the doctors in the medical system. We both turned to natural remedies and we started digging into the science. We're both scientists, so we like to know the why. Don't tell me no one knows why, because I know scientifically there is a reason. There is something going on inside. And so we do work with people who tend to lean more on the educational, science-based model as well. But we want the natural things. We want to focus on mindfulness. We want to work on plant-based foods and herbal products and boosting our energy, boosting the energy of our body and our mind as well. So, beyond the physical healing properties of live plants, eating the rainbow, and all of these herbs, we have to think about community as well. Think about when you sit down and share a cup of tea with someone. How does that feel? Just sitting down and talking with someone. Maybe you're not physically in the same room. You can sit down and have a cup of tea with someone on the other side of the earth, right? Through Zoom. If you're watching my YouTube, I'm talking on Zoom right now. Someone could be on the other side sharing a cup of tea with me. So even if we're not physically in the room together, we can still connect. When we have the herbs in there, that could be a chamomile that's nice and calming, or peppermint for digestion or energy, cinnamon for that warmth or to balance our blood sugar. These things don't just nourish our body, they also help us to connect and help us feel different moments. I don't know if you like go when you walk into certain buildings this time of year. This is the week of Thanksgiving here in the US. You smell cinnamon, and there's memories of cinnamon, from when I was little. And so a lot of times we smell these spices and these herbs, and they bring back memories of comfort. right? And so in our Zen and Zest membership, we like to explore rituals together. We perform rituals together by making things like in the month of December, we'll be making an herbal salve for healing skin. We'll be making an herbal chapstick because we're going into the winter months. And then we're also going to be making an energizing, vibrant tea. We also are going to have a holiday cooking class where we'll make a whole food, plant-based um, show that is centered around holiday eating. There'll be delicious dishes, including lots of wonderful treats that are also blood sugar friendly. Because if you're dealing with a diagnosis like this, there's inflammation going on the body. We want to keep inflammation cool, but the taste buds happy and excited about what we're eating. So it's important that you don't have to be alone on your healing journey. Healing is hard work. There are days where it feels impossible. I had days, plenty of days, where I couldn't even get out of the bed. I would work all week and I would be just so worn out by the weekend, I could not get out of the bed. Or I'd finally make it to the couch and I couldn't get off the couch. And so I completely relate to those of you who do that and felt that, right? So we want to make sure that we are sharing this lifeline with you, our community. When you're a part of a group that understands what's going on with you, they understand your struggles, they can help you see the possibilities. Maybe there's something that you haven't thought about on your healing journey. This group can help you brainstorm and come up with something, what's missing. Or maybe you haven't been able to find the right functional medicine doctor, or maybe there's something else on your healing journey that you haven't been able to find, and we can help you connect with those resources as well. We love to combine education with connection because those are so important. We want to teach you all about the herbs. Like we hear about different herbs that are wonderful, but there is no one size fits all. And it depends on you and what's going on in your life. I know for me recently, I started trying California poppy. I had another autoimmune flare where I was having trouble sleeping, and I tried California poppy. Someone said that's wonderful. And all it does is make me like vibrate on the inside. I don't know how to explain it, but I had racing heart. There's no way I can sleep. And I thought maybe it was a fluke. I waited a week and tried it again, and the same exact thing happened. No sleep at all, feeling like my heart is just going to explode. And so while an herb like that can be great for somebody, it's not great for everybody. And we like to try those things on ourselves first before we share them and recommend them to someone else. So not only do we dig into the science behind it, we want to make sure that we're sharing things that have helped with us, not meaning that they will help with you. We are just sharing our personal experiences and our education and helping you explore ways that will help you on yours. Our live online classes provide wonderful learning new skills and to help not only build your sense of community because there's people cooking along right there with you or making these things right along with you or laughing and laughter yoga with you or creating vision boards with you as well. So we're creating a nice safe place where you can connect with other people. And maybe you're an introvert. Believe it or not, I am definitely an introvert, and you don't want to turn your camera on, but you still want to be there as part of the community. You can do that as well. And so we want to invite you for a special deal for the month of December is $20 for the entire month of December with no commitment. But we're also offering our membership is normally $39 a month. We are offering it for $390 for the year, giving you 2 free months in 2025 if you join during the month of December. So like I said, it's always at least 4 live classes, a plant-based cooking class with low glycemic festive recipes here in December, an herbal workshop where we make tea blends, chapsticks, healing salves, and so many more. Every month we'll do something new and focus on the season, what is going on in the season. Mindfulness and movement classes, fitness classes. In the month of December, we're also going to be doing a vision board and intention setting workshop. We also do things with energy movement. We'll be offering things like Qigong in a few months. Jennifer teaches laughter yoga on a regular basis, and we'll be including that in our membership as well. And when you join in the month of December, we are including 21 bonus recipes that are already uploaded in the portal. So when you join, you can have access to them right away. So I didn't mean for this to be a commercial. I wanted to talk about community and how it's so important for all of us. If you're struggling with your health, I want you to know that you're not alone. I want to remind you that the foods, the plants, and the herbs are not always the only answer. We have to look at mindfulness. I know Dan and I both went to the School of Natural Healing. We took classes from Dr. Richard Schultz. Dr. Christopher is the School of Natural Healing, but Richard Schultz taught some of our classes as well as Dr. Christopher Hobbs and many more wonderful teachers. But I just remember Dr. Schultz, well, and Dr. Christopher too, talking so much about community and mindset and optimism. We have to have a positive mindset. So it's not just eating the healthy foods, it's cleaning up the environment, making sure you're not in a toxic environment, including toxic relationships. And so we need to clean up our water, clean up our food, also clean up our mindset and clean up those relationships as well. Sometimes we do have to let things go. And so we want to make sure you're joining a positive community. It doesn't have to be ours. Connect with other people who are on a similar journey with you and that want to help see you thrive and succeed as well. So I believe the Zen and Zest Zone is the perfect place for anyone going through a chronic condition, especially autoimmune thyroid, because that is Jennifer and I's story. But you can go to thegentwins.com and click on membership to find out more there. And I'll make sure there is a link in the notes as well. So I want to thank you for listening today. I want to hear from you. Are you already a part of the community? Do you share a similar story? I want to know what you have to say about this. Maybe you don't even agree with me. I still want to hear from you. So subscribe to our channel, share this with your friends, and make sure you connect with us. And I hope that you have a wonderful holiday season, and I will see you next week on the next episode.